Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises, honor, and glory be to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Wahakudash Wakah. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone who rule well. The true elders of Yasha Allah. Peace and blessings to you brothers out teaching this truth and sincerity, man. Alright? So, getting straight into it. And also, to the rest of you awakening of the Israelite nation, the Israelite bloodline, to you being consisting of so-called blacks, aka Negroes, so-called Latinos, and Native American Indians, to you I say shalom and blessings as well. Peace and blessings as well. Shalom means peace. But getting straight into it. This is America Knows. This is going to be titled America Knows, or the American Elite Know they have the Israelites in this land. The American elite know that they have the Israelites in the land. The American elite, or the Americans, know that they have the biblical Israelites in their land, or in the land, man. Alright? So as you can see, this is the official website of the Bank of Philadelphia, the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia, actually, all owned by Edomites, right? Not actually, but actually, Salakia. I'm gonna get some information on this real quick, just to fact check it. Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia, the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia, also known as the Philadelphia Fed and the Philly Fed, headquartered at 10 in Independence Mall West, given basically the address Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, with an additional entrance at North 7th Street, is responsible for the 3rd District of the Federal Reserve, which covers eastern and central Pennsylvania, the 9 southern counties of New Jersey and Delaware. It say the current president of the Philadelphia Fed is Patrick T. Harker, right? And he is more than likely a Edomite as well. Now this bank, it was set up 106 years ago, right? May 18th, 1914, and that's pretty much what I'm gonna get on this. So you can look it up. So as you can see, this is legit, man. And you're gonna get why, about the Fed, research, data, education, finance institute, bank resources, newsroom. So it's official. Now, how do we know that the American elite know that they have the Israelites in the land? Simply because on this website, they have how the symbols, the information, the facts on how the symbols came about on the American dollar, right? The Federal Reserve note, the number one currency, right? FRN on the planet Earth today. Which has who face on it? So-called white man, right? Who's we know to be Esau. Now, let's prove that the American elite know that they have the true biblical Israelites in the land. It says symbols on American money. Paper money has circulated in America for at least as far back as colonial times, but how did American currency come to look the way it does? What do all the symbols on our money mean? It says, symbolism on the $1 bill. Look at the image of perhaps the world's most instantly recognizable paper money, the $1 U.S. Federal Reserve note. What does it mean to you? Despite our familiarity with this particular currency note, many of us have never looked closely at its design and symbolism. As you'll learn, many of us have never looked closely at its design and symbolism. So this dollar, when you look at it, it was purposely set up the way it is. That's what they're telling you. That's what they're telling us. It says, as you'll learn, as you read on, American currency displays many significant symbols. Once you know what they mean, you may never look at your money in quite the same way. Now, we're going to just jump to the point. We're going to cut straight to the chase. So this is the history. You know, it said the note shown below was issued in 1862. So this is how the note, the $1 bill looked in 1862. It was issued in 1862. Now let's keep going. Okay, we're going to actually get into the symbols. It says, we're going to start with this, but it is the reverse side. But it is the reverse side of the $1 bill that holds the most meaning. Because you can go and look at this yourself. There's they break the whole everything down. What that mean, you know, the scales, the balances, which we know goes into masonry and stuff like that. But they said, but it just getting to the point. But it is the reverse side of the $1 note that holds the most meaning. Our founding fathers were deeply aware of the importance of symbols. In fact, so these are facts. Before the adjournment of the Continental Congress on July 4th, you know, the 4th of July, you know, was just passed, 1776, so-called Independence Day. It says, a committee was appointed to create a seal that will symbolize America's ideals. The committee included John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and Benjamin Franklin, 3 of the drafters of the Declaration of Independence. Boom. See that? Jefferson and Franklin. So these guys, John Adams, right, Thomas Jefferson, and Benjamin Franklin were all responsible for, they were a part of the committee that will be responsible for making sure they create a seal that will symbolize the outright ideals of America, what it is founded upon, and obviously still stands for, because this same dollar, these same people are still in place, right? And this is on the Federal Reserve website as of today, right? It was July 13th, 2020. Jefferson and Franklin, pharaohs and turkeys. So this is what they suggest. They suggested pharaohs and turkeys. We know one connection between ancient Egypt and the origins of American paper money, the pyramid on the reverse of the seal. However, if Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson had their way, the Great Seal of the United States might have featured an Egyptian pharaoh. Now, that should make you think automatically, right? Our notes might also have featured not the proud eagle, but an entirely different bird. But it had to go on and let's just keep going. The seal that Franklin and Jefferson advocated symbolized an Egyptian pharaoh sitting in an open chariot with a crown on his head and a sword in his hand, passing through the divided waters. Who divided waters? The Israelites, man. Moses. Masha. Let's keep going. Because he said he picked the Pharaoh. He didn't pick to put Moses on it. He picked to be the Pharaoh. They wanted the Pharaoh would have represented the ideals of America. A Pharaoh sitting in an open chariot with a crown on his head and a sword in his hand, passing through the divided waters of the Red Sea in pursuit of the Israelites. Let's go back up, man. It says, but it is the reverse side of the $1 bill that holds the most meaning. Our founding fathers were deeply aware of the importance of symbols. In fact, before the adjournment of the Continental Congress on July 4th, 1776, a committee was appointed to create a seal that will symbolize America's ideals. The committee included John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and Benjamin Franklin. But a committee was appointed to create a seal that will symbolize America's ideals. See that? The seal that Franklin and Jefferson advocated symbolized an Egyptian pharaoh sitting in an open chariot with a crown on his head and a sword in his hand, passing through the divided waters of the Red Sea in pursuit of the Israelites. See that? So they know they got the... Why would they have a pharaoh chasing Israelites if they were the Israelites? Don't you know most of these so-called white men claim to be Jewish? So the ideals of America is what Egypt stood for, and according to the Bible is known as the house of bondage, Exodus 20:2. Right? And it also a crown on his head and a sword in his hand. A sword. Esau's gift is the sword. That was the blessing that Isaac gave him. Right? And they're passing through the divided waters, so they're defying God, man, in pursuit of the Israelites. The motto they favored was rebellion to tyrants. The motto they favored was rebellion to tyrants. Is obedience to God. In fact, Jefferson so strongly supported this idea that he used it on his own personal seal. So, who was still in slavery July 4th, 1776? For, I think, 86 more years. So-called blacks. So-called blacks, aka Negroes. As well as so-called Latinos and Native American Indians. Because you have a lot of us mixed up. The so-called white man knows that. Independence was never for anybody outside of the so-called Caucasian, Caucasoid white race, the Edomite race, because they're not white. They're the Edomites, and they know this, man. These are the ideals of America, man. The dollar goes much deeper than just the pyramid being on the back of there. This is on the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia, man. You know? That's what was supposed to be on there, man. The result of the great, you know, and he had to, because Franklin, so Thomas Jefferson, that's what he wanted, and he put that on his own. But Benjamin Franklin was very much in favor of using the turkey as America's national bird. You know, these guys some bug outs, man. You know, it say Franklin noted that the turkey, on the other hand, is a more respectable bird, right? And a true original native of America. So you hinting at all the Israelites, man, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. They're in pursuit of you, man. Who does the turkey make you think of? Pilgrims and so-called Indians. And the Latinos was here as well. They just broke us up with different classifications, man. And then eventually the Southern, which is the Northern Kingdom, Native American Indians and Latinos, and then eventually the Southern Kingdom came over here, which is the so-called Negroes, aka blacks, consisting of, you know, Haitians and today known as Haitians and Jamaicans and African Americans. All Negroes, though. That's the Southern Kingdom. They're in pursuit of us. They're in pursuit of the Israelites, man. You know? They say the design was controversial. But this is still the history of it. It says the result of the Great Seal of the United States, and hidden within it are the messages our founding fathers wanted to send to future generations of Americans. Today, the two most prominent features on the back of the $1 bill are the pyramid and the eagle, which together constitute the Great Seal of the United States. The eagle goes into the curses, the 28th chapter of Deuteronomy, and that pyramid goes back to Egypt, that house of bondage, that Egypt that will basically come back, you know, in the spiritual sense, to have the same philosophies and the same ideals. The Pharaoh of Egypt was in pursuit of the Israelites in the country he was running, right? In the place he was running. So without any further ado, that's that. This is I'm gonna just get some scriptures real quick. This is Ecclesiastes 12 and 14. Matter of fact, let me get this. For God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. You know, this is a secret thing, man. These hidden messages, you know. It says the result of the Great Seal of the United States, and hidden within it, it's hidden, it's secret, are the messages our founding fathers wanted to send to future generations of Americans. You know, the people that will go on and inherit it. You know, more so-called Edomite, more so-called white people, the Edomites, man. And everybody that's not of the Israelite nation, which consists of blacks, aka Negroes, so-called Latinos, and Native American Indians, that will help oppress and pursue them, because they're the Israelites. That's what they wanted to put. They wanted to actually put a pharaoh on the back of the dollar, man. With a crown on his head and a sword in his hand, man. Right? That was Esau's gift, man. The so-called white man. The only man that was said to come out red, man. You know? But let me get let me get this scripture, man. This is Salakia. Cause I want to keep this super short, you know, cause this is just clear cut. This is Genesis 27 and 38. It says, and Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing? My father bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. Right? So the resources. Right? And of the dew of heaven from above. And by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy. So that's why these people's ideals goes back to a pharaoh, an Egyptian. The seal that Franklin and Jefferson advocated symbolizes an Egyptian pharaoh sitting in an open chariot with a crown on his head and a sword in his head, passing through the divided waters of the Red Sea in pursuit of the Israelites. Why? Because when you jump up to 36, it says, and he said, Is he not rightly named Jacob? For he has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee? So that's why when he went on to finally get a blessing, it was the sword, man. He told, verse 40, and Isaac on 39, and Isaac answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven, and by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. So you're going to live by the sword, and eventually you're going to serve us, man. So that's why the ideals, because remember that sword was supposed to go into, our founding fathers were deeply aware of the importance of symbols. In fact, before the adjournment of the Continental Congress on July 4th, 1776, a committee was appointed to create a seal that would symbolize America's ideals. See? The seal that Franklin and Jefferson advocated symbolized an Egyptian pharaoh sitting in an open chariot with a crown on his head and a sword in his hand, because they know that they're Esau, man. And people don't walk around with swords anymore. People walk around with ancient swords. People walk around with guns. So-called white man has all type of killing instruments, because that's all the sword really represents, man. That's how they live. That's how they took America. That's how they keep the blacks, a.k.a. Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians in check. They shoot you dead in the street, man. And they let you off, man. They let themselves off. They don't hold themselves accountable. So that's that. So that's what they know. They're Esau. They know they're Esau, and they know they have the Israelites. That's why they put that on there, man. Right? And then the eagle. We might as well just get that real quick since we here. You know, Deuteronomy, in the 28th chapter, it says, Salakia, Deuteronomy and 49, 28 and 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which, go ahead and do this thing right. Deuteronomy 1 and 1. You already know. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side and in the wilderness, on this side Jordan in the wilderness. See? Now, 28, we finished that. In the wilderness, in the plain over against the Red Sea, between Paran, Tophel, and Laban, and Hazeroth, and Dazab. So, that's who's being talked to right now. So, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Right? You Google those yokes of iron, man, because it's that simple, man. You know? One of the brothers just said that, man. Right? It says the Lord, yokes of iron in slavery. Slavery, the slaves in shackles. You know what I'm saying? Around their neck, man. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. See? So that's why they put the eagle on there, man. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee. Against who? All Israel. They're against you, man. That's why they put this. It says, the seal that Franklin and Jefferson advocated, an Egyptian Pharaoh sitting in an open chariot with a crown on his head and a sword in his hand, passing through the divided waters of the Red Sea in pursuit of the Israelites, because they were the people against the Israelites. The people, the slaves, the poor. The motto they favor was rebellion to tyrants is obedience to God. So they know they're just playing their part, man. Jefferson so strongly supported this idea that he used it on his own personal seal. So the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth. See? In addition, Franklin was very much in favor of using the turkey as America's national bird. He expressed this choice ardently to his daughter in a letter explaining that the eagle is a bird of bad moral character. And that's what they ended up with, man. You see that? The Lord made them do that because they truly the Edomites, man. They truly that nation that was gonna come against the Israelites, man. So they have the Israelites in their land, and they know in this land, and they know it in the land of America, man. Primarily, Franklin noted that the turkey, on the other hand, is a more respectable bird and a true original native of America, because that eagle represents so-called white people, the Edomites, man. That nation of a fierce, verse 50, a nation of a fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young, man. That's that simple, man. Bad moral character. The original bird symbolically would have represented, being a turkey, would have more so represented the natives, man. Like he said, so-called Native American Indians, the people that were here, more Israelites. But they weren't gonna run this place. You know, the money they would have to use to go get all they needed will have the symbols of the people of the fierce nation that they're in subjugation to. You know, they're in slavery to. That same nation that he promised he will send against them, as swift as the eagle flieth, man. All right, so that's that, man. Now let's go ahead and get. I'm gonna go ahead and move around, man. Let's grab some scriptures real quick. Cut this short. This is Daniel 2 and 22, man. You know, this says, He revealeth the deep and secret things. He knoweth what is in the dark, and the light dwelleth with him. See that? See that? And he changeth the times and the seasons. He removeth kings and setteth up kings. He set y'all up. That's that nation he said he was gonna bring against Israel, man. The chosen people. Cause he sets up kings, man. The Lord does that. Yahweh can do what he want to do, man. He giveth wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that know understanding. You know, this is something I've been sitting on for a minute. The Lord finally put the Spirit on me to bring it out, man. This is knowledge. This is that knowledge to them that know understanding. Now the rest of everybody that's in this truth, you know, we have understanding, man. He revealed the deep and secret things, man. What that money is actually about, man. In detail, they telling us, man. Esau, the so-called white man, out of his own mouth telling you, man. He's telling us, man. He has the Israel. He know they have the Israelites. He knoweth what is in the darkness, and the light dwelleth with him. So he been knew what that money stood for, and he set it up, cause that was gonna be an indicator. Man, the Lord kept his word, you know, and more proof and assurance of who the Israelites are, man, and who the Edomites are. See, Jeremiah 49:10. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. See? See that, man? You know? So the Lord is Esau is exposed on the highest level, man. For I have sworn by myself, verse 13, that saith the Lord, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual wastes. You know, so that's that, man. And we can get 16. You know, thy terribleness have deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks. Today is skyscrapers, the Trump Tower, etc. You know, that holdest the height of the hill. Though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle. See? I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord. You know? So these people, they're so proud that the Lord's making them do it, but he's doing it through their pompousness, their character, man. That boastfulness. You know? They think they're the best military, they're the best, they proud to be Americans, or at least they know man, it's crazy. Isaiah 45:3. And I will give thee treasure, Salaki, and I will give thee the treasures of darkness and hidden riches of secret places. You know, that's what this is, man. That thou mayest know that I, Yahweh, which call thee by thy name, am the God of Israel. See? Because this for us, man. This is not for this is why this was sent this way, man. We're the Israelites. And he only deals with the Israelites, man. The Lord set all this up, man. I form the light and create the darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things, you know? Psalms 10:8. It's going back into that character that Benjamin Franklin was talking about. It says, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. Right? Little hideouts, duck-offs. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. Right? The Bohemian Grove, stuff like that. His eyes are privately set against the poor, man. Because who are the poor in Egypt? The Hebrew Israelites, man. Who are the poor in America? The Hebrew Israelites. Today known as so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Because that's another one of the curses the Lord promised that was going to happen to them. Deuteronomy 28:37, man. It says, let me keep going, though. This is Psalms. Lord willing, this amen. It's edifying. It says, like as a lion that is greedy of his prey. You know, that pursuit of the Israelites, man. He running through this dude. He's so bloodthirsty. He gonna run through the you know, supernatural situation and not even notice it. Passing through divided waters. You know, are you serious? Like as a lion that is greedy of his prey. That's how the so-called white man mind is, man. And as it were, a young lion lurking in secret places. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword, man. See that? You know, from men which are thy hand, and from O Lord, or Yahweh, from the men of the world which have their portion in this life, right? The so-called white man, this is, you know, this his stolen country. He stole this, man. He runs the earth, you know, and so Esau, man. He's hiding behind the alias of so-called white man, man. It says, in whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure, right? They are full of children, and they leave the rest of their substance to their babes. What he say? He said, this is for the, they wanted you to know what their founding founders basically want to pass on to future Americans, man. Remember, you so-called blacks, you're not even 2/3 of a man. You know, according to what is it? I think it's the Constitution. You know what I'm saying? That amendments, one of those, man. It's so much, man. It's so much. Last scripture. This is Jeremiah 13:17, man. Yeah, that's real litigation, man. That's in the so-called white man's litigation, man. Can't call it off the top of my head, but it's true. 2/3 of a man, man. You're not an American. Jeremiah 13:7. Then I to him, and he knows it. Because he knows you're Jacob, you're the Israelites, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Then I went to Salaki 13:17. It says, but if ye will not hear it, my soul shall weep in secret places. But if ye will not hear it, my soul shall weep in secret places, in secret places, for your pride. And mine eye shall weep sore and run down with tears, because the Lord's flock is carried away captive. Only a blind man couldn't see this, man. You know? So to him that have ears, and you know, and to he that have eyes, man, Lord willing, this has been edifying, man. All praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right? So with that, I'm going to say Shalom.